Famous actor and singer Thomas Dekker once said, "Sleep is like the golden chain that binds our health and body together." And I couldn't agree more. Hey yo, what's good? It's your man, 100-gram Villy, right? And welcome back to The Village. Okay, I'm not gonna claim to be some type of sleep expert, but I be getting some good sleep. This is how I do it. Here are my top 5 steps to great sleep. Now, before we get into the actual steps, I want to talk to you guys about something called habit stacking. Habit stacking is where you intentionally link a new habit to an existing behavior that you already do regularly. Essentially using the existing behavior as a cue to initiate the new one. This means you perform a specific task that acts as a trigger to start your desired habit. It's cue-based, meaning that the existing behavior acts as a clear and immediate cue to initiate the new habit. So with that in mind, step number 1 is developing a routine or ritual for you to do every single night consistently before bed that'll help act as a trigger or cue for your body to recognize, hey, it's time to wind down and take it on to bed. So my routine is straightening up the kitchen, mainly doing the dishes, then preparing my smoothie for my morning routine, which is usually just cutting up the fruit, throwing it in a little baggie, putting it in the freezer, or taking the fruit that I already have stored in the freezer, putting it in the blender cup, throwing some oats on there, and letting that sit overnight. And lastly, starting the water for my tea. More on that in step 3. Shout out to the book Atomic Habits by James Clear for introducing me to the concept of habit stacking. If you haven't checked it out, Atomic Habits is a great read and I highly recommend it. Step number 2. I got to get my hot shower in before bed. Now I know they say you're supposed to cool down your body temperature before bed to help get you into a deeper sleep, but there's just something about those hot showers that really do it for me, opening up my pores and getting my body nice and cozy warm, right in time for step number 3, which is a nice warm cup of tea. So in between starting the water for the tea and now, and let it steep for however long the suggested amount of time is, usually it's right around that time where the tea is just warm enough for me to be able to sip and not burn my taste buds off. Tea that I usually drink at night is a chamomile and lavender mixture, and when I tell you it does the trick, I haven't needed melatonin in a long time, let's just put it like that. So then I'll go ahead and take my cup of tea, bring it to bed with me, sit it next to my nightstand, and while I sit, I'm usually going through what's entailed for the next day, making a general outline, and trying to get some type of a general schedule for myself, because I've learned that when I kind of map things out the day before, it just helps my next day go a lot smoother and a lot more productive. So yeah, that's what I'm doing while I'm drinking my tea. Once I'm done with my cup of tea, I'm moving on to step 4, which is stretching. I keep my stretching pretty basic, rotating through a few different stretches, ultimately leaving it with 3 and just cycling through the different stretches that I know. Keep it pretty general, pretty basic, usually focusing on stretching my hips and like my lower back and even my neck, because I've come to learn that it is very important for me to stretch and it directly affects the quality of my sleep. So I make it a point to get a decent stretch in before shut eye. And now last but certainly not least is step number 5, read. Reading has always been the perfect send-off for me right before bed. Once I've gotten through all the other steps, I'm nice and relaxed, my mind is settled, and I can really focus on what I'm reading. And sometimes, if I've had a really long day, I'll get through like a chapter and a half, and I usually fall asleep with book in hand. But generally, I try to stop maybe at a chapter or 2 and close my eyes and go to sleep. And like I said, with all the steps in place, there's never usually an issue. I'm out like a light. Leave a comment down below if I've left out anything that you do for your night routine that you find helps you out a lot. I'd love to know it. Share your suggestions. I'd love to hear from you. Well, there you have it. That is my sleep routine and my top 5 steps to great sleep. Try it out. It'll vary for everybody, but really it's trial and error. Do what you think feels good. Do what you think works for you. And if it's not quite it, switch it around, try some new things, and repeat until it works. And always remember, we are ever learning, growth-oriented, and evolutionary thinkers here in the village. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to tell me by hitting that like button, and also visit the other huts in the village. Links in the description below. Hey, you thought I was gonna ask you to subscribe? Come on, hit that. Become a villager. Stop playing, you sleeping. Hit that, for real.